Ram 1500 front tow hook install. An in-depth look at how to install tow hooks on the front of the Ram 1500. Well, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive FST. Real quick, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So today we're installing the front tow hooks on the Ram 1500. You can see I've already gotten the driver's side installed. Wanted to go ahead and get that one in just so I had a little bit of lay of the land so I know what I'm doing. Now what I've got, of course, is the tow hook. You can see it there. Mine is customized. They came in black and I painted it Regal Red, it's called, to match the Ram lettering. I have another video on how to do that, by the way, on the channel. But all you need for this is the tow hooks and the bezel that goes inside, because you're replacing that bezel right there, which of course is solid. Now, I will leave links down below if you guys want to check these out. They're not overly expensive, and this isn't that difficult of a mod, little time consuming and a little bit tedious. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you have to remove this little cover inside the fender well here, this piece right here. There's just 5 screws that hold it on, 3 that run down the side, and 2 up there on the edge. The 2 up there, you can see, you don't have to take the screws all the way out because you can see those holes. Once you loosen them, you just move it over and it comes off. So no need to remove those and try to keep track of even more screws. So let me go ahead, pop this cover off, and then we'll carry on. Okay, the first place that I'm going to start is going to be on the cover right here. And you'll notice there's a screw, a bolt right here, and then there's one right down here, and then there's 2 little nubs here that go into 2 little holders, if you will. So the first thing you have to do is loosen these 2 bolts so that you can remove these retaining screws. They're kind of like a T-nut. That really is all that holds this in, beside these little nubs below. So that's an 8mm socket or an 8mm wrench, and by the way, the cover that we removed took an 8mm socket as well. So we're going to go ahead, pull these nuts off, or not off, actually you can just loosen them and then pull the fasteners out, and then we'll remove this actually from the front. Okay, here's what the little fasteners look like, what I'll call a T-screw. I'm not sure what you call them, a T-bolt. But this just fits into a little slot. I'll show you that here in a little bit, onto the back of the cover. So now, to remove the cover in the front, I'm just going to use some pry tools. And actually, I can grab them here. What I'm going to do, the little holders, fasteners, whatever you want to call them, nubs, are like about, you can see them if you pull down, about right here and right here or right here, somewhere in this area. So if you just pry down a little bit, you can actually pull this off from the front. I've seen a lot of people do it from the back. I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it this way. It should just pull out, but I am going to need 2 hands to do it. So let me go ahead and pop that out, and then I'll show you what the back of it looks like. Okay, that was pretty easy actually. The little holders that I was talking about that hold it in are here and here. It's just a little pressure thing on the back, and then here's the nubs I was talking about. Now some people had said that on the bottom of these nubs there was a little retaining nut. Mine does not have that, so I'm not going to worry about it. And those T-nuts that I was talking about, they fit in these little slots, and it'll be the same on the new ones, but they fit in like so, and then you just tighten them down to hold it on. Alright, we've got the bezel, the replacement or new bezel on in the front. You guys can see right there. Now, the next step is probably the hairiest step of the whole install. And that's because you have to remove this bolt. Now, this bolt has a retaining washer, kind of a ribbed washer if you will, on the end of it, and it's a great big long bolt. I'll show you when I get it out, and it's in there pretty tight, so you got to put a bit of torque on that thing to get it off. I'll show you how to do it, but before we do that, there is a bolt that's included with the kit, with the tow hooks, and it's going to go in right here. There's a threaded hole right there where we're going to screw this in, and you want to go ahead and get this started in there because you will use it to hold the tow hook up, and I'll show you that as well, just to make installation easier. So let me go ahead, break this bolt loose and pull it out. I'll show you that because again, it's the hairiest part of the whole install, I think. Okay, I gotta tell you, the driver's side was much easier, and that's simply due to leverage. This bolt spins this way, so you have to push that way as opposed to pulling, which is much easier to do. It's all about leverage. But I did get the bolt down, you can see here, and now we're at the point where it's only being held up there by that little washer that I told you about. So, the trick to get it off, hopefully you guys are in the shot. If you're not, well, you'll never see this part of the video because it'll be useless. But what I'm using is a pair of channel locks. Some people use a crescent wrench. I'm just gonna kind of clasp it on there like so. And then you kind of just have to smack it a few times with a hammer. I'm actually gonna use just a regular hammer. A lot of people I know use a sledge or a mini sledge. Too hard to control under here without damaging anything else, in my opinion. So we're not gonna be doing that. I'm just gonna use a hammer. So here we go. And you got to be careful. This little flap here kind of moves. It's mechanized when you're like going down the freeway or something for better fuel economy, better aerodynamics. So you don't want to hurt this thing, but the bolt is going to come out against it. It has a little bit of give in it, but not a ton. So here we go. And I think we're just about there. A few more hits and I think it'll fall out. So I'm just going to push this down a little bit, get it out of the way. And I think that's about going to do it. Let's see. Now we need a little bit more persuasion. Again, this is not that difficult. I think a regular hammer does the job. I wouldn't use a sledge, you just can't control it too much under here. So here we go. There, that pulls it out. What a pain. Now, I'll show you, and hopefully that was in the shot. Again, you'll never see it if it wasn't. But there's that little washer you see on there. You have to go pull that off, not a big deal. Remove it, you'll not be reusing that. But the hardest part of this job is done, so I'll go grab the tow hook and show you how that goes. We've got the tow hook positioned. You can see I have that big, long, giant screw back in. You just kind of have to pull this gently out of the way because you have to overcome this lip and this lip to get it back in the hole. Not too bad. It is going to be a bear to put in. By the way, I'm going to torque them to 85 foot-pounds in the front, the bolt up there, and 136 here. The one that I was talking about before to have the bolt in up front there is because the tow hook, of course, is slotted up there, so you can just slip it over the bolt to hold it in while you finagle this back one in. So I'm going to go ahead and torque these things down, tighten them up, and then we'll come back on and I'll show you the front. Little tip for you, wrap a rag or something around your tow hook so you don't damage the new bezel that you just put in, or the tow hook itself if you've painted it like I did. We've got it all done after a good solid 2.5, 3 hours worth of work. Now I will say I did film, so that slows the process down. Probably could do this in about 2 hours. I'd give yourself at least 2 hours, maybe 2.5, only because it's awkward. It's not difficult, it's just awkward. So let's take a look. Again, completely changes the front end of the truck. I like it, it pops. You're not gonna miss this truck coming down the road, that's for sure. If you don't like something quite so in your face, you could obviously go with a more muted color or even black, no color at all, as far as anything bright and shiny like this. I didn't realize, I actually forgot, the ram tow hooks kind of point in. If you look at how they are on there, they look like, gee, did you install them right? They're kind of crookedish. I mean, look at that. But that's how they are. They point in towards each other. Kind of a different look for tow hooks. What I'm used to are the kind that kind of come straight out. These definitely do point in. And now, of course, we have the red theme in the front. And if we go around to the back here, obviously, I was trying to match up with my Ram logo. It is the same color paint. It may look a little different because of the slotting in the badge itself, but it is, and it's dirty, but it is the same colored paint. And of course, we have the Lone Star modded badge in the back as well. But I do think it came out, oh, and don't forget the red Rob Motive FST YouTube logo there. That's important. Make sure you have that. But anyway, that's the complete project. It's done. That's the look. I'm digging it. It's exactly like I had envisioned it, how I had hoped it was going to look, so I'm very happy with it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Yes or no? I'd be curious. Also, real quick, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator, sitting right out there. You may be able to see it. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.